All right.
Yeah.
Let's head down to Carolina here. Philadelphia Eagles and the Carolina Panthers, 455, 456. Line drop in this one, and I agree. I actually agree with this, Kyle. 4.5s at Pinnacle have turned into 3s. 3.5s here at FanDuel have turned into 3s. It's 3 across the board here with an over-under that has crept up a little bit. We saw them open up around 46, 46.5, drop down to 45.5. Now you're seeing the 45s come back, and I do agree with it. But I'm struggling a little bit with this game because I do have the Philadelphia Eagles as a possible play for a team total, which you can buy that down. It was around that 17.5, 18 price for like minus 135. It's risen a little bit here. But here's my issue. When you watch the Philadelphia Eagles over the first 2 weeks, very competent against Atlanta, didn't look so competent against the 49ers. And then the Dallas Cowboys, they were getting run out of the building, but they were throwing the entire way. They looked very good against the Chiefs, but throwing the entire way. My question here, though, is the Philadelphia Eagles, who seemingly don't want to run the football, might be the best way to get after the Carolina Panthers, as Dallas absolutely shredded them on the ground. Look at the seasonal statistics through 4 games here, Kyle, for the Carolina Panthers. They're allowing 156.5 yards passing per game. So if the Eagles want to throw it all over the lot, it doesn't really behoove them. Maybe you should get back to the running game, but in no way, shape, or form am I going back to Miles Sanders. If you're not going to give a talented running back the football, how do I expect you to just say, okay, let's open up a ground game and see what we do? Now, the Philadelphia Eagles on defense here, Kyle, 204 yards per game passing, which isn't bad when you consider 2 of those 4 games, Kyle, you played the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs. So Are we looking more for an under, and that price is actually right, as opposed to looking early in the week saying, hey, I got to take the over?
Man, I got to tell you, I was close to the Carolina team total over 23.5 at minus 120. I don't like what I see out of the Eagles defense. I know they had some bloated numbers because of a couple early matchups with the 49ers and the Falcons. But the key for me here is Christian McCaffrey going to come back. I know he's been practicing a little bit. There is a chance they were saying he was going to play this week. If he's ready to go and getting the ball, I love Carolina in this game, and I love that team total. Of course, without him, it makes it a little bit more nerve-wracking. But I got to say, the defense of Carolina has been a big surprise this year. They've really elevated their game from last year. Of course, they just made the trade for Stephon Gilmore. He will not be there this week. I believe he will be back week 7 after the bye week. That's when he's eligible to return as well. I can't believe I'm taking a Sam Darnold team again, but I just don't see this could be a trap too. This does have trap written all over it, but I don't like what I see out of that passing game. They have not shown an appetite to run the ball enough. For me, it's Carolina or bust. I think they cover here, and I have some strong consideration for that 23.5, especially if Christian McCaffrey plays.
Exactly, and that's where we have to preface it, which is great. The way we structure this show is done on purpose. Monday, fresh look. Thursday, get the pencils out. Sunday, make the final decisions. Because you know it's going to be a big decision, this one, Kyle, when they say, okay, the line is 3, and oh, yeah, Christian McCaffrey is not playing this weekend. Like, I don't know about this one now. Mm-hmm. But if you get the report from Adam Schefter at 6 a.m. on Sunday, Christian McCaffrey is a go. They expect him to be full go today, no restrictions. And it's like, okay, now that over-under comes back into play. Now you're looking at a more explosive offense here for the Carolina Panthers. They got dusted by Dallas. But again, seems like a lot of teams might get dusted by Dallas this year. It's an interesting game where one of those, Kyle, where I talk about it quite frequently on Monday. I was ready to push the button on the Philadelphia Eagles team total. And I said, now, wait a second here. These lines are here for a reason. Sports, companies and, DraftKings, FanDuel, Pinnacle, they don't just make lines up and say, hey, what do you think about this one? I don't know. Throw this number out here. They make sense. So I'm trying to go through. But Christian McCaffrey, again, we haven't seen the full practice reports across the NFL yet for a Thursday. He did get a limited practice yesterday. We'll see what it is today, because if he's full go, that offense is different, and they should be able to do damage against the Eagles on the ground, which if you have a good offensive line and a good running game, you can pester those Eagles as they sit back in that zone defense with 2 safeties high. Interesting game overall. But again, I do have the Eagles circled as a possible play in this one, at least from a team total perspective. And I do quite like them as a side if McCaffrey does not play.